Okay, so for today's video, we're going to talk about why 99% of college athletes never make it to the pros. Every D1 player up on the roster was probably the best up on their team. Talent is just the baseline. Thousands of generation talent never sniff NFL rosters because of the demand of the schedule, or maybe they just got into too many off the field incidents. It's important to know that talent only gets you noticed. It won't get you drafted, kept, nor paid. Here, I'm gonna list the four things, the biggest four things that I believe why 99% of college football players never make it to the pros, based off of my experience and what I know from being just in the game. Also, one of my former teammates at Alabama that was a All-American and an NFL first-round pick actually benefited from one of these. So keep watching to find out who it is. It could be a guy from your favorite team. It could even be your favorite player. So keep on watching to find out up in the video. I guarantee at least one of these things will surprise you, if not all four. If you're a college player or maybe a high school player and wants to make it to the pros, or maybe just wants to make it in college, this is the video for you to watch. This is the channel. Follow and like. So the first one we're going to talk about is injuries. One torn ACL, one bad hit can end a career that took decades and hard work, dedication to build. Some players never recover that same explosiveness that scouts fall in love with. And then that can stack on top of each other if you have an injury list, which can definitely hurt your draft stock. A projected first-round pick can easily go undrafted. So I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about my story, because I got hurt my senior year. Before then, I was projected to be a 4th to 5th round pick if I would have came out my second to last year, but I decided to stay. I don't regret it. So the exact situation I'm talking about, I lived it. So for those of you who don't know, I played at the University of Alabama, played for Coach Saban, won 2 national championships, and I played in a 2020 Natty game versus Ohio State that we won pretty well. So I could have went out that year. I was projected a 4th to 5th round pick, and I decided to come back because I felt like I've learned a lot that season. I felt like everything that I learned, I was about this close to passing that threshold where you would actually see the results of what I learned. And I had real aspirations of being a first round pick, and all up on the walls at Bama, because they have the first rounders up on the wall, the All-Americans, all that. I wanted it. I thought I had a great shot to get it. So again, I'm projected 4th to 5th round if I would have came out that year. So I stayed another year up in the first game of the season versus Miami. I ended up, I think it was in the second quarter, I ended up doing exactly what I came back to do, perfecting my pass rushing ability. And up on that sack, I ended up hurting my foot that took me out for a year. And yeah, just like that, I went.
Brett Lashley wants his quarterback to do that. Look out! He got hit by Chris Allen, and the ball popped out. And here's Allen working on the right tackle skate.
Recovered by the defense.
He just blows right by him. You cannot block those two guys one-on-one for a long period of time. They're both collapsing the pocket. Both Allen and Anderson had a beat on the quarterback, and that one resulted in a turnover. In 2015, we'll take a look at the hit on De'Aaron King at the end of the play. Both guys involved in that play ended up in the injury tent.
Got dumped for a 2-yard loss by Brian Branch. Meanwhile, Christopher Allen.
On that sack, I ended up hurting my foot that took me out for a year. And yeah, just like that, I went from 4th to 5th round pick. Maybe higher if I would have done well at my pro day and, the interviews, to undrafted to the Denver Broncos, which, like looking back at it, if you would have told me this would have happened, I wouldn't have stayed. But I'm still not mad at the decision because I came back to go chase real goals that I thought was attainable. So for that, I don't regret it. But that is a real thing that I lived myself, to where if I just would have came out that year after the Natty game, I would have been a 4th to 5th round pick. And I get hurt up on a strip sack, first game of the season, and I'm out for the rest of the season. So too, we got mental toughness, man. This is underrated. By far, this is one of the most underrated things that is the reason why a lot of college athletes don't make it to the pros or don't even get a shot, right? So we got the schedule. The schedule of a student athlete is I knew that it was going to be hard, but it was just way different than I thought it was. Literally from 8 a.m. to about 8 p.m., maybe even 9 p.m., you are busy throughout the day. So, my typical days would consist of, honestly, we would even start earlier than that in the summer at like 6:30, but I'm taking you through a season. So typically would have class from like 8 to 10, maybe a break from like 10 to 11, and then you would have probably another class from 12 to 1. Then you would have meetings, practice, all that good stuff, 2 to 5, 2 to 5:30, and then you would have tutoring at, say like 6 or 7, maybe even 6 or 7 for different classes. And that's kind of how it is every day, especially during the season. So that kind of structure that, most people are not really used to, that can kind of make a guy not like football or not like being there. Not to mention that you were probably the star at your school, especially if you went to a school like I did at Alabama, where we really only had 4 to 5 stars, and we had 3 stars there, but most of the time it was 4 to 5 stars. Like, you were the guy, and now you're coming on the campus, and now you're not really the guy, and you're not following the rules. And since this is college and there's a whole roster of guys like you, when you don't follow the rules, you get disciplined. There's no looking the other way. You will get disciplined, which can be very new for guys, which is why you see a lot of guys, they get kicked off after the first 6 months to a year after being up on a team. Didn't even really get a true opportunity to play because they couldn't follow direction. Also, college is relentless up on your body. I mean, it is gruesome. I mean, from 6:30 to 9 p.m., you could have, running sprints, change of direction drills, conditioning, weightlifting. I mean, all that. You can realistically do that from 6:30 to 8 a.m., 8 p.m., and be working the whole entire time, right? College football is no joke, let alone the struggles of just being a student athlete and, just putting everything that you can put into your academics and sports. I mean, it's just time consuming. There's going to be days, especially spring conditioning, when you knew that it was going to be this hard. Like, you knew that this was going to be challenging. But at the same time, you didn't know that it was going to be like this. And then you bring in to things like your first fall camp. Oh man, my first fall camp I've never experienced anything quite like that. Every fall camp that I've had has been, it's been tough, but it don't compare to the first one. And that can make a lot of guys that thought they loved the game not love it as much and not invest into it, because this is a whole different animal compared to high school football, high school conditioning, high school summer workout. So the third thing that we're going to talk about is opportunity. Opportunity. You really do need the right scheme, the right coaching staff, and the right people to believe you. And also, they have to want to utilize you at your position. 2 equally talented players on 2 different teams can have 2 different seasons based on what the OC wants to happen in offense, based on what the head coach wants to happen in offense, based off of the players that you got up on the team. A lot of different factors play into you being successful. For example, if you're a wide receiver and they don't really throw the ball, you can be the best guy out there in the country. Nobody's going to know because they're not going to throw the ball. You're not going to have enough opportunities. It's just not enough about being good in college. You have to be needed. You truly do. You can just be a guy on one team and a guy transfer to another team and everybody's like, wow, like, I never knew he can do this, he can do that. The only difference was he was not being utilized on that team, and this team is being utilized. And the final thing that we're going to talk about is timing. Timing is important. Believe me when I say this, timing is everything. It takes the right coaching staff to put you in the right position to actually be successful, for you to actually have meaningful snaps that can actually help progress your career or just help the coaches believe more in you. Simply 1 or 2 guys getting hurt can be everything that you needed, that one opportunity for you to go and show the world, show the coaches, show your teammates that, this is why y'all recruited me and this is why I'm here. I am a player that needs to be up on the field more. So I'm gonna take you through another personal story of mine of timing, right? The guy that I mentioned here, he would have been this guy regardless, all right? He just was this guy probably a little bit earlier than most people thought he would be, or probably earlier than he would have been. But in my opinion, he would have been that guy sooner or later. But because he was ready for the opportunity and it was the right timing, he was able to seize the day. So we're going to talk about Dallas Turner, which was an All-American at Alabama and was a first-round pick in the NFL. So Dallas was a highly rated 5-star. So he was already a pretty good player. But this brings me back to one of my first points about injuries, all right? We're going to flip right back into the video about when I got hurt the first game of the season, my last year. So, right, I got hurt that game, out for the season, all right? Another guy, I think 2 games later, maybe it was the next game, not sure. He got hurt, he was out for a few games, not the whole season, but enough. So, right, next you come up, Dallas. Dallas is a freshman. Dallas, this is his opportunity. This is his shot, right? From then on, He's been a star player, All-American, and started the next 3 years and got drafted to be a first-round pick. Now, this guy was already going to be who he was going to be, but because of the timing, I got hurt, another guy got hurt. It thrust him into the spotlight sooner, right? Sometimes it's all about timing. Not saying, again, this guy wouldn't have been successful, but would he have been as good as he was his freshman year, sophomore year, senior year? Don't really know, right? Does he play as soon? Don't really know. He was definitely going to play, but how early? You don't know. But because there was a timing aspect, it took his career to a different level a lot sooner. Again, I'm not taking any credit from Dallas. He put in the hard work from day one, from the moment he stepped on campus to be the guy who he was. I can be nothing but proud and happy for him, to be honest. We preach that Bama next guy up mentality, and that's exactly what it was. He stepped up. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like videos like this, I make a lot of them. I post videos once or twice a week, so consider subscribing and comment down below what was the most interesting part of this video.